Is English by Edison, and we are extending the interview that we conducted yesterday of a teacher and a technocrat. So far as the discussion yesterday we took up, I asked question to Salini, several questions which were literary as well as conversational. To begin with today's interview, we will start with this. What is conversational English called? Salini is going to answer. What is a conversational English and how it is different from written English?
Conversational English must be simple because when we talk about someone, we transfer our ideas, our views, our ideologies to others, and then our language must be very simple. It must be logical so that the person in front of us must understand what we are actually want to convey.
Can we say that a conversational English is a communicative approach?
Of course, we can see
yeah.
that.
And a written English is a literary approach
yes,
because we should take care of the literature, the grammar, the language accuracy,
yes,
and the appropriateness of
yes,
the words. But in conversation, conveying the idea or communicating the ideas is more important. So far as the literary English is concerned, the written English is concerned, accuracy is more important. But so far as the conversational English is concerned, then communicating the idea is more important.
Yes.
Ankit, being a technocrat, you have to explain or elaborate that nowadays most of the offices rely absolutely on desktop and laptop. The working culture of desktop began long ago, am I right? But in the recent days, there have been certain changes in working on desktop. Now there has been an elaboration that while working on desktop, you may use several other devices for simplifying the work. Can you name 2 such devices which help us work on desktop better with fluency and accuracy?
Sir, one of the major problem we face from beginning in laptops are mouse pads, and that has been simplified in desktop because childhood we use a mouse and that is quite easy to handle, as well as keyboards, sir. Because you see, laptop keyboards are more fragile than the keyboards that
that's the point. Laptop keyboard are more fragile. This is the difference. Whereas working on desktop helps us to bring the keyboard, or rather we can say that there is a simplified way of working. Am I right?
Yeah, sir.
Which one do you think is more convenient for an office worker?
Sir,
if you're an executive,
yeah,
you'd like to work on desktop or laptop?
I would prefer, sir, laptop actually.
Because it is handy. You can carry it to any place, or you can even take a tablet, a small tablet, yes, which is just like a running laptop. Am I right? Okay. Significantly, this question is for both of you. What is the role of language in bringing people together? Your first Ankit will answer, then she will answer. Justify or elaborate the role of language. I'm not talking about English, any other language, in bringing people together.
Sir, if we humans don't use language to communicate with each other, then we are not any good than animals. Because the main thing that makes us superior to animal is our brain and our way to communicate. And few animals don't do that. But as you see, communication brings people together.
Very good. In absence of communication, we cannot really convey what we want to say, and that creates confusion. Suppose there are communities in India, there are different language and dialects. How do you think a linked language helps us bringing people together? How do you think a linked language, maybe English, maybe Hindi, how does a linked language help us bring together different people, different communities, different class of people come together with the help of language? Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
So how do you think a linked language helps us bring people together?
Sir, a linked language, as far as India is concerned, there are several languages in India. So one of the most common language that we prefer is English. And without English, sir, people from different states can't communicate with each other. For example, people from southern region can't communicate well with north people. because they have a totally different.
You mean to say
approach.
English is now used as a link language?
Yes, sir.
So I'm not talking about English only. There are places where Hindi works as a link language. But how do you think that a link language helps people together?
Sir, it's a common way. As you can-
Three important features. Number one,
Yeah, number one.
it is easy to convey the things and ideas from one to another. Number two,
Number two is, sir, it can be easily understandable.
cultural exhibition like debate discussions can be organized in the same language.
Yes, sir.
Number three, business communications can be dealt in that language. That there are three things that really bring people together. Number one, the exhibitions of things, and number two, communication, and number three, that is business communication. So these three things are together with the link language. Am I right? That is the reason why English has risen as a most powerful link language. Salini,
Yes, sir.
being a student of English literature, how do you think the use of decorative language, that is figure speech, bring perfection in literature? How do you think?
Sir, as we all know that literature is just like a bride, a newly wedded bride. The more we will decorate it, the more it looks beautiful. So it is important. Literature is also just like a beautiful bride. The more we will decorate it, the more it looks beautiful. And the figure of a speech is actually ornaments of this type of
Very
thing.
good, very good.
It decorates.
It adorns the
It
language.
adorns
Rather,
the-
we can say that if you really want to beautify a language, we have to use figures.
Figures of a speech. Yeah.
Well, you must be knowing about simile and metaphor.
Yes, sir.
What is difference between simile and metaphor?
Simile tells us about when we compare two things. If one is living and the other one is non-living.
You can say when we compare two unlike
Two
things.
unlike things, then we generally use simile.
But the metaphor is also used to compare two things.
Two things,
But what is the difference? That both metaphor and simile are used to compare two unlike things. But there is a difference. What is the difference?
Sir, we generally use with the non-living things like suppose I am comparing something with a stone.
Can you give one example of simile? She is as beautiful as a red rose.
Yes,
This
of
is
course.
simile. As her lips are rosy. That is
Her
metaphor.
lips, yes.
But what is that difference? That's what I'm asking.
I'm saying that if I am
Her
comparing
she is as beautiful as a red rose is simile.
simile,
And so she had a rosy lips.
Lips.
That is metaphor. But
Yes.
how is this different?
sir, her beauty is just like a red rose in the first.
You are not giving the difference between these two. See, in simile, you are using the words of comparison like as, or like.
Yes,
But
sir.
in metaphor, it is an implied simile. There is no word of comparison.
As and
Like I
like.
said that this sky is cloudy.
Yes.
Cloudy sky means a metaphor.
Yes, sir.
Silent sea, metaphor.
Yes,
The
sir.
sea is as silent as anything else. Anything?
Else.
Or her lips are rosy. This is metaphor. I have not used any words of comparison.
As or like.
But in simile, we have to use words of comparison like or as. Well, one more question of that.
Yes, sir.
In alliteration, there is repetition of the same alphabet sound.
Yes, sir.
What purpose does alliteration play in literature?
So alliteration makes the lines much more beautiful when we repeat.
Do
the
you think
sound.
that you do mean to say that it gives a melodious effect?
Of course, it gives a rhythmic and
Melodious
tone.
effect. Other than that,
Other than that, it beautifies the line. When we repeat something, there is a famous line in Hindi that Raghupati Raghav Raja Ram. Here is the repetition of R.
that only one answer you have given, that it gives a melodious appeal to the listener.
And it also beautifies the line. When we talk, when we sing the poem.
Don't you think it also emphasizes the fact
Of
that
course,
one to underline?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Other than beautifying the words and language,
gives
it
emphasis.
also gives emphasis on that. Because when you are repeating the same alphabet sound, it is underlining the effect of that very word and that very phonetics. So it is a phonetic repetition. You may call it, it is a phonetic repetition which emphasizes certain ideas. Well, Ankit, this is a common question that living abroad is little bit different from living in our own country. One of the most significant, factors in living abroad is that people, try to adopt the Western culture. how do you think English as a language is helping us to adopt Western culture more, comfortably than before? Nowadays, English as a language, as a culture, it has risen more as a culture, is helping us to adopt to the Western culture more comfortably, more easily than before. How?
So one of the major point here lies is that English, since people back early didn't have a good way of communication in English. Not everybody, but still there are few, majority of people didn't have it. So one of the major problem we faced was communication. See, if we can't communicate with each other, how can we know their culture and how can we know their diversity? Nowadays what happens is that we are good in English and we can communicate and understand what's going on there. So it's very easy to know their culture, explore their culture, and the main reason is English
because of the power of oration. Many good businessmen have settled abroad. Had they not been good in spoken English and written English, perhaps their business would not have been established abroad. So this is also one of the reasons. Salmi, that in the latest, in the modern era, English has come out as, language of the common people. Even in interview, even in seminar, even in discussion in colleges, in schools, people prefer to speak English. Though they are good at Hindi, they are good at their mother tongue, yet they prefer to speak English. Do you think it is a language of the status of the people or prestige language? Have they considered English as a status language or as a fashion language of fashion?
Sir, I will say that both reason is valid.
Associated.
Because, both reason is associated because generally people think that English is a language of status.
What is happening now? There are people who think that if a person cannot speak English, he is not educated. Even he is having a learned, he is a scholar.
Yes,
people underestimate his knowledge and talent, and they say that this person is not well educated.
Yes,
but if a person is less educated, but if he speaks very good English, people overestimate that he is a learned person. So don't you think that it is partly a question of passion and partly a question of status? Am I right?
Yes, sir.
Social status. People consider speaking English as a social status.
Yes,
Ankit, as an engineer, you face that nowadays working in offices demands not only the language, technical language, it also demands languages like French, German, Spanish and English. How do you think the mixture of all these languages help a good, technocrat to be successful in life? All the combination of these languages. French knowing, English knowing, Spanish knowing person more successful than single language knowing person. Why?
Sir, see, the main reason is just that because as you learn more and more languages, more and more different kind of languages, the main thing that adds upon is your skill. And as suppose, for example, you learn Spanish, and then you will have no problem in settling in Colombian regions, or even if you learn French, you will have no problem in settling in France. So this also widens up your opportunity.
And most of the countries abroad are dominated by French, Spanish and
German.
English and German.
Yes,
so knowing these languages means having access to those people. Access, I'm talking about access.
Yes, sir.
Having access, language brings you and keeps you an access to the unreachable people.
Yes,
you can have an access to people of the world through English and Spanish because these are the widely spoken languages. French and German. French and
German.
So, don't you think that in the coming era, languages are going to play a vital role in business, global business?
Yes, sir.
And do you think that the people who are having sound knowledge of language and communication can be good, successful businessmen in the coming era?
Definitely, sir.
Okay. Now, both of you have these, buzzer round.
Sure.
Anybody can answer. You can say that, yes, sir, I know. Pronounce the word Liable.
Liable.
You pronounce the word Demotion. Demotion. Demotion.
Demotion.
Okay. Demonstration. Anybody?
Demonstration.
Demonstration. Deliberate.
Deliberate.
Deliberate. Deliberate. Okay. What is the meaning of the word deliberate?
Deliberate. To deliver.
I give you an example.
Yes, sir.
I want to deliberate my point to the audience.
I want to explain my points.
Very good. Okay, another line. I deliberately pointed out your mistakes.
Purposely.
Very good. You just tell what is the difference in these two expressions. I was dumbstruck at his appearance. I was greatly astonished at his appearance. Are they similar or are they different?
But they are similar.
Which one is sounding better? I was dumbstruck at his appearance, or I was greatly surprised or astonished at his
The
appearance?
first one is much more
Appropriate. Very good. How will you call the idea of, bringing two words, in succession? Like if you say that arise, awake, make it in order. Arise, awake, and walk. Arise, awake, and walk. Which one should be first? Arise or awake or walk? Give a right order. Arise, awake, and walk.
Arise, awake, and walk. They are already in order.
They are already in order. Very good. A person says a miles to go before I sleep. What does it convey?
It means that I have to go. I have to. The
Give a
target
deeper
is-
meaning. Give a deeper meaning.
The
A
target
miles
is
and
wrong.
miles to go before I sleep.
I have to achieve my target, and I have to achieve my goal.
I have to reach my destination, or I have to achieve
Achieve
my
my
goal
goal.
before I die.
Before I
Sleep
die.
here means die.
Die, yes.
Now, one of the lines of Shakespeare is that the cowards die many times before their death. The valiant takes death only once. What does it mean?
It means that we should not be a bold man is always a bold man works for him. He never the timid man or the coward man.
What is your idea?
Sir, a courageous man dies once. This means that, for example, in our society, every day people criticize or says us many things, which also demotivates us. Or due to that, there are many kind of problems, also mental illness. So, what are those? These are kind of death only, because of the few reasons that people can't sleep in the night. What is this? You are not living your life as the God gave you. And another one is like people of courage.
Can we
die
say like
once.
this? That the people who are bold, they are not afraid. They live, dignified life. But those who are not brave, they live a life of disgrace and fear, and so they die 1,000 times before their actual death. But the brave people die either on the battlefield or in the natural way. So they are never afraid of death. So don't you think that a person who is brave has no fear of death?
Yes, sir. Of course.
Okay, what is the meaning of this line? Death is inevitable.
Death is inevitable.
Inevitable.
Death is unstoppable. It must come.
Give another good word. Unstoppable is not a good word.
Death
It's eminent.
Death is universal.
Imminent. Sure to happen. Eminent. Yes.
You can't escape them.
Yeah. Give the meaning, both of you, meaning of this. The death lays her icy hands on everyone, small or big. Death lays her icy hands on poor as well as rich equally.
Death.
Lays her icy hands.
Yes, sir.
Name the figure speech in this line. You.
Death.
Lays her icy hands.
Onomatopoeia. This is onomatopoeia.
No, it is personification. Death has been
Lays.
personified.
Oh.
Lays is onomatopoeia, but lays her icy hand is
Icy
personification.
hand, yes.
You. What is difference between these two words? Sycophant and sycophancy.
Sorry, sir.
Sycophant. Who is a sycophant?
The one who
Pretends to be real.
pretends to be real,
But he is not so.
So,
What is difference between metamorphic and metamorphism?
metamorphism is a process, and metamorphic is
It is adjective form of
Adjective form of-
metamorphism.
yes, sir.
Cha. How will you correct this sentence? Had I been to the station, I would catch the train. Correct this sentence. Had I been to the station, I would catch the train.
If I had been at a station,
No, the first part is correct. Correct it. Had I been to the station, I would catch the train. The second part is incorrect. You also think of that. Just think of that. Had I been to the station,
I could reach. I could catch the train.
There is no difference between I would catch the train or I could catch the train. Both are similar. Then where is the correction? Yes, you please. The sentence is that had I been to the station, I would catch the train. I would have caught the train. Because past perfect is always followed by future perfect. Remember. Okay. For you, it's a very simple question. Give 5 important words which you use to command an internet or computer while programming. 5 important words.
First of all is the header file.
Very good.
Another one is the logic. Then we go with the body.
Very good.
Then we go with the flow chart.
Okay.
And then we go with the ending.
What is the role of flow chart in programming?
It simplifies the complexity of the program.
Okay. When is the programming cumbersome? Difficult.
So the main difficulty of the program is to define the logic of the program.
What is the default of the computer?
Sorry?
What is the default of the computer? What is it called?
Default of the computer?
Yes. It is called virus. What source makes computer go wrong?
Virus.
Okay. When do you call a computer functional?
When it's giving, when it's efficient most of the times.
How will you rate, an appliance, whether it is cell phone or computer, working without stopping or occasional stop?
Sir, occasional stop. If I don't want my PC or my phone to be stopped, and if it is stopping, it is malfunctioning.
What is difference between malfunctioning and ill functioning?
Malfunctioning means when the product is manufactured.
Appearance of virus.
Yeah.
And ill functioning?
Ill functioning
Technical
means
default.
technical
default. Yours.
Yes.
Define a verb and adverb.
Verb is generally verb says that action, what is going on, whether we are doing something or in the meantime, then it is called a verb. For example, if someone is eating or someone is walking or someone is playing.
You mean to say verb can be defined as action
Action,
words?
of course.
And what is adverb?
Which qualifies verb. For example, if someone
But
is
adverb qualifies noun and pronoun also.
noun and pronoun also.
That adjectives are also, degree of adjectives are also
Also
adverb.
they
Like
are-
she is very good. Very is adverb here.
Yes, sir.
So what is difference between adverb and verb?
Adverb actually qualifies. Suppose when we talk about when someone is going on slow, so we just use the ly word. Your ly word is known as adverb.
But the adverb, there are many adverbs which have nothing to do with ly, like where, when, they are also adverb.
Yes, sir. Which actually qualifies noun. Its main work.
Noun is being qualified by adjective.
It qualifies the.
Other than noun and adjective, adverb qualifies degree of adjective also. And that's what I'm saying, that when a verb as well as an adjective is qualified together, it is adverb. It qualifies an adjective as well as verb. Achha, differentiate between phenomenon and phenomena.
Phenomenon is the process.
It is the word phenomenon is wrong. It is pronounced as phenomena. Phenomena, but it is written as phenomenon.
Phenomenon.
What is the adjective of phenomena?
Phenomena.
Adjective. Yes, please. Yes.
Phenomenal.
Absolutely right. Absolutely right. Phenomenal.
Phenomenal.
What an answer. Brilliant answer. Okay. Just exaggeration is spelled as exaggeration. Exaggeration is spelled. Exaggeration.
Yes, sir.
How is abbreviation spelled?
ABB REVATION. Yes. ABB REVATION.
What do you?
ABB REVATION.
VIATION. Abbreviation. Abbreviation. Both of you are wrong. Okay. What do you call a doctor who examines old people? No. Surgery is a branch of, operation. That, deals with operation. Achha, forget about that. What do you call the doctor who looks after newly born or small children?
Child specialist.
Pediatrics. What do you call a person who designs map of buildings and, monuments?
Architect.
What is difference between late and late.
One of
L-E-T, late, and L-A-T, late.
L-E?
L-E-T, late. You have to give example.
Late.
And L-A-T, late.
Late means delayed. L-A-T-E means delayed. And L-E-T means to allow.
Very good. Give difference between soon and immediately.
Soon means immediately means just after the moment.
In fact, both are same.
In fact, yeah,
Both are same.
similar.
Yes,
but,
similar.
Yeah.
The meaning is also similar.
Similar.
Soon and immediately means
Immediately.
almost instantly. Almost.
Instant.
Last question, both of you, buzz around. Make a difference between she is too old to work, she is old enough to work. She is too old to work, she is old enough to work.
She is old enough to work means here that she is fully capable of working, or and another one is she is too old to work. Here means like work.
In which one she is capable to work?
The last second one, sir.
She is expelled.
Old enough.
And in which one there is a physical disability?
She is
Too old,
Too old.
T-double.
Too old.
So what is T-double here? Adjective or adverb? Just a minute. Adjective or adverb?
Adjective, sir.
No, it is adverb.
Adverb.
Yes. The water is too hot, T-double. Give another sentence of equivalent meaning. The water is too hot, T-double-O, H-O-T.
Water is very hot. Can you say?
Not at all. The answer is the water is hotter than it should be. Hotter than it should be.
Should be.
And the last question for both of you. What is the significance of being prompt and being punctual? Anybody can answer. Being prompt and being punctual. Which one is time directed and which one is action directed?
The being punctual is time directed, and being prompt is action directed.
Very good. Good answer. Nice. Thank you very much. Both of you have done very well. Both of you have done excellently well. Thanks a lot. As well as Prajat.